Welcome to the Sun. Welcome to the Sun.
Send me the link. Okay, I'm gonna have to go out and come back in. Because I'm trying to upload my presentation. Yeah, I know you got it, but I got my computer set up. Yeah. What's going on?
Welcome to the Sun. welcome to our sun, to our sun, to our sun.
Charm on the train.
Welcome to our sun, to our sun, to our sun.
Charm on the train.
Can you hear me? Alright.
He got his grandmama hat on.
Man, your grandmama wish you could buy a hat that cost.
My grandmama knitted that hat for you. Shut up.
Well, that was the least she could do.
Welcome to our sun, to our sun, to our sun. Welcome to our sun, to our sun, to our sun.
Charm on the train.
Welcome to the sun, to the sun, to the sun.
Charm on the train.
Peace, family. What's good? This is your boy Soul of Mine, and I am here live with Chris Harris in the building. I can't call him MVP Harris, but I like calling him MVP Harris because that's the name of the YouTube page. Go subscribe to the YouTube page if you get a chance. I'll throw a link in the description. Because that'll be throwing a little bit of shade on Minister Howe because he is the MVP of the Solar Vision Debate League. But Chris Harris is in the building. And YARAH bin Nazareth is in the building, family. So hit the like button when you come in the building. It's going down tonight. The topic for tonight's debate is... Now YARAH, what is this king's name you got up here? Before I even try to do it. What's the name of the king? YARAH. Unmute your mic. YARAH, you there, brother? Can you hear me? Anthony Harris?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, YARAH, what's going on with your... so do you know the name of the king?
Yeah, it's Chedorlaomer. Chedorlaomer.
Okay. Is Chedorlaomer a fictional or real character? They're going to be dealing with the King's List tonight, family. You know? Ecclesiastes say cut the music back on. I hope that's a female saying that. Yeah, family. So you know it's gonna go down tonight, family, and then yeah, just get your pencils and pads ready because both of these brothers came prepared. They came to drop some information. We will be having another debate. Now here you come when I start talking. You want to unmute your mic.
Yeah, you know I don't like to hear you talk, so.
Yeah. So we having another debate also tomorrow. I will be going up against the Orthodox Moor. And we're going to have Brother Yahukanan. He's going up against Asar M. Ka. And the topic of that debate is, which is better for the black family, the Bible or comedic science? That will be 6 p.m. tomorrow. So make sure you be in the building for that. And we may be rocking out around 9, maybe 10-ish. For the debate with me and Orthodox Moor, is Jesus the Antichrist? So make sure you be in the building for that, family. What's going on, Chris Harris? What's good with you?
Man, finna debunk this pseudo wannabe biblical scholar, man. This is easy work. Just continuously studying and hey, just doing me, man. That's it.
Are you playing the YouTube YARAH bin Nazareth because we hear echo?
No, I'm not playing the YouTube. No.
All right, we got YARAH bin Nazareth in the building. What's going on, YARAH?
What's going on with you, Solar? Shabbat Shalom, people. All praises to the Almighty Yahweh. Hey, listen, we're gonna get it in tonight. Chris Harris been wanting to try to get it, try to get at me a little bit in sort of a formal debate. I think this is gonna be our first formal debate. So, it's all good. He's my brother at the end of the day. So, I ain't gonna lose no sleep for slapping him around at night. I'm gonna teach him a lesson though.
All right, all right. So, what type of format y'all want to go? We're gonna go with the standard format tonight. So, which one do y'all want to do? Do y'all want to do the 15-minute rapid fire round, or do y'all want to do the 10-minute interrogation?
With it being around 10 o'clock, I really don't want to do neither because I'm gonna just debunk everything he got to say.
Right.
Um,
So let's go at it. I mean, we don't even have to have that. I mean, he could present his information. I can present mine. Let the people decide. It's not a judge debate, but he thinks he can debunk the information that I put out. I already debunked him. So I mean, I think he just want to try to save face on this
So y'all
conversation.
don't want to have a dialogue with each other with the information that y'all presented?
yeah, I
I
can have
think,
a dialogue with him.
yeah,
I'll
we
have
can
a
have a
dialogue
dialogue.
with him.
So
I'll
Yeah,
have
that's
a
we
what the
can
dialogue.
rapid
dialogue.
fire round is. The rapid fire round is y'all just going at it for about 15 minutes, or do y'all want to do an interrogation where you can ask him a question, questions for 10 minutes without him responding, and then he gets 10 minutes to ask you questions without you responding. I mean,
I think
without you,
I think for his
asking him
level of
any questions.
maturity, we could do a rapid fire. I'm pretty sure he'll answer my questions.
All
Yeah,
right,
I answer Chris's
all
questions. He'll
right.
answer mine.
Hey, Solo, I hear a echo.
Yeah, that's coming from YARAH. He
Is
got
it coming
that.
from me? I don't have nothing else open. It might just be my mic. Um, it might just be my mic got an echo, but I can mute out.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna begin with who would like to go first.
He chose the name of the debate, so he can go first.
All right.
Yeah, okay. I have no.
Ready for some pizza?
So
Uh,
Yahara, do you know how to
yeah,
share
y'all can
screen,
go eat.
brother?
You said what?
Do you know how to
Yeah, I
share
think I
screen,
got it.
brother?
Yeah, I think I got it.
All right. So whenever you're ready, you can begin your opening. You'll have 5 minutes for your opening, brother.
All right. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this for you. It's the chick. I don't care. I don't care. Let me try to do this real quick. Hold on. Listen. Where the thing at? Hold on 1 second. Okay, hold on 1 second. I can see it. You said the three dots, right? I got that. Then hit share screen, right? I gotta pull it up first, right? Okay, I see it. Hold on. I got it. There it is. All right. And then hit the three dots. This is crazy. Hold on. Okay, I see it right there. Three dots. Share screen. Am I sharing my screen? Can you see it? Hold on 1 second.
You want pizza or not?
Mm.
Coke that I just poured you or not?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I hit the three buttons. And he says share screen, right? Okay. Okay. You just click on the share screen. And then I gotta click one of these, right? Let me see. All right. Hold on. I think I got it. It says I'm screen sharing now. Okay, so all right, can you see me now? All right, appreciate you, man. All right, so let's begin. Peace to the chat. Shout out to the Hallway War Machine. Peace to you, brothers. Peace to Chris Harris. Peace to Solomon. Appreciate you for your platform, brother, as always. Okay, we're going to get into it. Chedorlaomer, in Genesis chapter 14, it talks about several kings. Some people refer to it as the Genesis 14 kings list. But in this particular verse of scripture, it mentions a king, Chedorlaomer, and he's an Elamite king. And so we're going to get into it tonight. My brother Chris Harris expressed something in the video earlier this week, saying that this king's list, this Genesis 14's king's list, was false. It was fake. It was not true. That these kings never existed. And so I challenged him on it in a response video. I really didn't challenge him on it, but I just did a video showing some evidence. And so hence we have this debate tonight. So is Chedorlaomer the Elamite king, fact or fiction? An historical textual analysis of Genesis chapter 14. And so we're going to get into it. Let me go down here and see if this is working right here. Let's get into it. Let me see if I can get it to go down to this next slide. Let's see if I can get it to come up. Yeah, hold on a second. Okay, so tonight I'm going to be using the historical methodology, historical research, or historiography, which attempts to systematically recapture the complex nuances, the people, meanings, events, and even ideas of the past that have been influenced and shaped the present. You can look at this. You can look up this methodology with Berg and Lure, 2012, page 305, in their context. Historical research relies on a wide variety of resources, both primary and secondary, including unpublished material. Primary sources includes eyewitness accounts of events, can be oral or written testimony found in public records and legal documents, minutes of meetings, corporate records, recordings, letters, diaries, journals, drawings, located in university archives, libraries, or privately run collections, such as local historical society. Secondary sources can be oral or written secondhand accounts of events found in textbooks, encyclopedias, journals, articles, newspapers, biographies, and other media, such as films or tape recordings. But for tonight, I'm going to be focusing on what we will consider, using the historical method, primary sources. Just so we're going to give you a little bit of context here. Just to give our people.
YARAH, if you hit share, you don't you can just get a bigger picture if you just click on the share button and everybody can see it better.
If I hit on the share button, okay.
Yeah, click on share. Mute his time for a minute.
I think I see it up here in the corner.
It's the big yellow button.
Yeah, I'm hitting it. Let me see. All right.
No, hit present. You got to hit present. My bad.
Okay.
Hit present.
I got you.
You need a new mouse.
Control F5. Let me see. Let me see what we got. Oh, it went all the way out. Hold on. Let me bring it back up again. And then let me hit Control F5. I think it's coming up. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. Okay, let me try it again. Let me try it again.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. And then you say hit present.
Go to the right. Go to the right and just click on present.
Yeah, I'm clicking on it. It ain't doing nothing. Hold on. I think it's spinning now. Hold on. Okay, here it comes, I think. Here it comes up now.
Man, what you got, an 18 computer?
It's coming up exactly like it's down though. Hold on 1 second.
Man, just continue on with it. Don't worry about it. Come on.
All right, let me see now. Okay. All right, hold on. All right. So can you see it? Okay. I think it was a low. Okay, that's what it's asking to do right there. Okay, hold on. It's not. Okay, let me pull it up again. Okay. There it is. Okay. All right. So let's start again. So just to give people just some idea of the areas we're talking about here. We got Elam here, we got Super here in this area, we got Gutium, and we got ACAD. So you see, these are the areas that we're talking about, just to give some people some type of understanding here. And this is the Mesopotamia area, people call Mesopotamia, right? And so we could see the various areas and what we're talking about here. We see here the Euphrates River, different things like that, just to give people some context of where the areas we're speaking of. So let's go down here, go to the next slide here. Okay, so here's where most of the confusion comes in, and I think this is where Chris Harris went wrong in his initial video, right? When you look at Chedorlaomer's name in the biblical context, what we're looking at is the Latinized or the angelicized version of it. But when you start going back in history and you start looking at what we know of the person Chedorlaomer in Genesis chapter 14, the king of the Elamites, what we see is that his name is also, his actual name is Chedorlaomer. All right. And the understanding of that first initial part right there, that Khudur, that word there is what scholars have determined to mean the word servant, right? So it's actually, his name is actually two words here, right? Khu or Khud or Khudur means, the meaning of it is servant. The last part of his name, that Lagmar or Lagmar, that means that's the goddess Lagmar that they worship in that this Elamite culture, right? This Canaanite culture, right? Chedorlaomer. So it means servant of the goddess Lagomar. That's basically what her name is. So let's get into it. So Chedorlaomer or Chedorlaomer of the inscriptions, king of Elam, many centuries before the age of Abraham, Canaan and even the Sinai Peninsula had been conquered by Babylonian kings. And in the time of Abraham himself, Babylonia was ruled by a dynasty which claimed sovereignty over Syria and Palestine. The kings of the dynasty bore names which were not Babylonian, but at once South Arabic and Hebrew. The most famous king of the dynasty was Hammurabi, or what many of us call Hammurabi. We know Hammurabi, the Hammurabi text, who unified Babylonia under one rule and made Babylon its capital. When he ascended the throne, the country was under the suzerainty of the Elamites and was divided into two kingdoms, that of Babylon, the biblical Shinar, and that of Larsa, the biblical Elasar. The king of Larsa was Iri-Aku, the servant of the moon god, which was the understanding of his name, the son of an Elamite prince, Chedorlaomer, who is entitled the father of the land of the Amorites.
Time.
And so,
All right, shout out to YARAH Ben Nazareth for dropping that science. We're going to hand this thing now over to Brother Chris Harris.
Solar, give him 3 more minutes. Solar, give him 3 more minutes.
I gave him 3 more minutes. That from, I stopped it. So I gave him 2 more minutes and then I gave him an extra minute.
Okay, cool.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes for the opening. So
that's fine. This is 5 minutes.
Go ahead and mute your mic, Elder YARAH. And we'll get Chris Harris in the building so he can present his opening.
All right, man. Let's get right down to it so we can explain what YARAH is not doing. You're supposed to be showing us this.
YARAH, mute your mic, YARAH, because it's echoing.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get it.
Okay. Can I go now, Solar?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Okay, so YARAH, what YARAH is not doing is showing a proper methodology of how he cited this king's name. Now, what YARAH did is, I'm gonna go to a screen share and I'm gonna go to the website that he went to, and in order to cite this king, he went to a website called BibleHistory.net, and on BibleHistory.net, it talks about Genesis 14, and in Genesis 14, it speaks about King Cheddar or King Chedorlaomer. And it says right here in BibleHistoryNet.com, it says, they cite it says Chedorlaomer and Tidal make it back safely, but since artifacts in the British Museum indicate that Arioch's son was ruling in his place, it was possible that he was killed in Abram's night attacks. Okay. So they cite an artifact, so you can go check this out. And the artifact is in British Museum 35 is in the British Museum.
Hold on a second. YARAH, you gotta mute out, bro.
Okay, I can go?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
All right, now right here, the first artifact that they give us is in the British Museum, and the British Museum artifact is 35404 or SP987. Let's go check out one of these artifacts right here.
Are you sharing screen? Because we can't see it, brother.
Okay, you can't see it?
No. You gotta, YARAH, stop sharing your screen. Hit stop, YARAH, so he could share his screen. Just hit stop. All right, go ahead. We can see you now, bro.
Okay, so he goes to Bible.history.net and he allows this website to tell him where to cite this artifact. This is why I asked you, YARAH, did you put eyes on the artifact? Okay, that's a cute slideshow presentation and all. I'm all for that, but you don't need that. We're not going to need half of what you're going to present. So in the British Museum artifact 35404 or SP2987, I pulled that up and here it is right here. This is the artifact right here. And the problem you have is in your opening, you said that you'll be using primary sources. Now, primary sources is someone who witnessed it and wrote during the time period of these events. And in this time period, this is during the late Babylonian age. The man Theodophilus Pinchas, who curated this artifact, his name is cited down here. Theodophilus Pinchas, and we're going to get into him. He cited this artifact, and they curated it at the late Babylonian period. Now, the late Babylonian period, we all know, is around 484 BCE or the 5th century BCE on down. That's the late Babylonian period. So therefore, according to this tablet right here, this was not written during the time of Abraham. It cannot be cited as a primary source, but we're going to see what Theodophilus Pinchas said about this. And before we go there, let's go to the JewishEncyclopedia.com. And Morris Jastrow, he writes, and it says, the critical view, the name Chedorlaomer has been the subject of controversy that has increased rather than diminished since the discovery of native Elamite and Babylonian documents, which we just cited. The first clue to an identification of the name is found in fact. Everywhere now regarded as established, that name is correct. Is a correct Elamite compound. Its first half, which was Kedor, which YARAH cited, which means servant of or worshipper of, is found frequently in Elamite proper names such as Kedor, Nanhundi, and Nanhundite, or Susan, or Elamite, whatever. The later half of the name, Lamir, is the name of an Elamite deity mentioned by Assur-banipal. Now watch this. Apart from these certain facts, all else is a matter of controversy. Shiel believed that he had found the name on a tablet of Hammurabi in the form of Chedorlaomer. That's what YARAH cites in the review of the Biblic Review in 1896, page 600. But the name is now proved to be Inu Shah Shamar. Pinchas, who curated the tablet that we just brought up, has found the name Kedur Ku Kamal in a tablet dating from the period of the Arsacade. In spite of the difficulty of reading and the late date of the text, it is possible that the person intended is the same as Chedorlaomer of Genesis. Though most scholars are opposed to this view, the tablet in question is couched in a florid poetical style, and little material or historical value can be gleaned from it. For the present records give only rather the negative result from the Babylonian and Elamite documents. Nothing definite has been learned of Chedorlaomer. Okay, let's go to my next. Let's go to the next site. We're gonna go right here to Bible Hub because that's all you had to do. And in Bible Hub, that's why I asked you, did you put your eyes on the document? Bible Hub, they translated this document for you, and this is what it says. And this is a editorial by Theodophilus Pinchas, right here. Theodophilus Pinchas, the one who curated the cuneiform text. Hopefully I got enough time and I can finish this on out. So what we're gonna say here is this is they are translating them, and this is what it says. Was he the Elamite king Chedorlaomer? Objections have been made to the identification of Chedorlaomer with the Chedorlaomer of these texts. Some Assyriologists have flatly denied the possibility, while others express the opinion that though these names were respectively those of which they have been identified, they were not the personages referred to in Genesis 14. This is BibleHub.com. And many have refrained from expressing an opinion at all. The main reason for the identification of Chedorlaomer with Chedorlaomer is its association with the names Eri, Aku, and Tugal, found on 2 of the documents. No clear references to the expedition against the cities of the plain, however, have been found in these texts. So they're saying that the literature expressed in these documents, in these cuneiform tablets, do not support the Genesis 14 story. Let's continue on. The longer of the 2 prose composition, which was the British Museum artifact SP2987, which Bible.net refers to and gives you a false historicity about the tablets, trying to correlate it to the story. This is where you failed at. It says refers to the bond of heaven to 4 regions and to the fame which he, Merodach, or Marduk, which is the god of the Babylonians, set for the city of his glory. He came down and performed what was good to them. And okay.
All right. Shout out to Chris Harris for dropping that information. We're gonna hand this thing over to YARAH Ben Nazareth. We go ahead and set the timer for 10 minutes, brother. And YARAH Ben Nazareth, whenever you're ready, we could begin your premise, brother.
All right. Can you see my screen yet?
Chris Harris, stop sharing your screen. And no, we don't see nothing yet, brother.
Can you see my screen?
No, not yet. You gotta hit the three dots and then hit share.
All right, I'm doing it now. All right, yeah, come. Share screen. Should have it right there.
Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay. All right, great. Let's go into this next text. Let's read this. One second here. See if I have to come down to the next one. Hold on one second. Let me go back. All right, let me start right here again. I'm just go down right here. All right. So, Chris Harris, very good presentation. But let's get into a little bit right here. So this is from the Historian's History of the World, Prolegomena, Egypt and Mesopotamia by Henry S. Smith Williams, January 1st, 1904, publisher, Outlook Company. Let's see what they have to say about Chedorlaomer. Let's see right here. Okay. So basically, we're talking about the third dynasty of Ur. The early kings called themselves simply kings of Ur. So in 2008, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a timeline. 2800 BCE, Gungunu puts an end to the dynasty of Insen. He is succeeded by Ur second Dungi. 2700 BCE, Dungi M, the king from now on, add king of the four quarters of the world to their title. And for this reason, some scholars reckon this king as the first of the fourth dynastic period. He is followed by Ber-Sin II, Gamal-Sin, and Ensin, the later ruling about 2580 BCE. We have no knowledge of other kings but about. So 2450 to 2400, the kingship of the four quarters of the world is overthrown in the north by the first dynasty of Babylon, and in the south by Nur-Adad of Larsa, monuments and buildings and records and tablets. I'm just giving you guys a basic timeline here. 2400 BCE, successful rebellion of southern Babylonia against the kings of Ur, the kingdom of Larsa, founded by Nur-Adad. 2370, Sin-Adin succeeds his father and extends the kingdom over Sumer and Akkad. 2350, Kedar Nakul Kahandi, king of Elam, invades southern Babylonia under Kedar Nakundi, successor Kundi, Kudar Leglamar or Kuda Dumago, which we know is also Chedorlaomer, is the successor. So 2340, probably the Hebrew Chedorlaomer, the Elamites established a kingdom in Larsa and Remsin, Eri-Aku at its head. 2312, Remsin, Eri-Aku adopts Sin-Adin's title. The latter appeals to Hammurabi, king of Babylon, who overpowers Remsin. So we see in the Historian's History of the World, we see that they actually break us down and give us a timeline. And so they name Kuda Haglamar and Kuda Dumar as the same person, who is also they equate to is Chedorlaomer. Now let's go further, right? So Chedorlaomer, this is what we talked about earlier. We talked about these artifacts in Chedorlaomer and YARAH. These are two kings that are mentioned in extra biblical sources outside of the narrative of the Bible, outside of Genesis 14, right? These sources are found in the journal of the transactions of the Victoria Institute of Philosophical Society of Great Britain. Remember earlier, people, when I talked about primary sources, philosophical societies, information taken from those societies is considered a primary source. We have to remember these things. So again, the Philosophical Society of Great Britain, volume 29, published in 1897, full text of British Museum numbers 34062, 35496, and 35404. And you can see I got the link down here so you guys can go to it and look at it yourselves, right? At these journals, the Victoria Institute of Philosophical Society of Great Britain, you can go and you can see them. They also do have them where you can actually see them in the Biblical Museum as well as the translations. And so we know in these texts, what they found here is Chedorlaomer's name and YARAH, two kings mentioned in the biblical context of Genesis 14. You can't deny them. Right? Let's go to the next slide. This is the source where you can go and see it at. The YARAH 35404. You can go to the British Museum. You can see them. You can lay your eyes on them, people. You can see them for yourself. Again, here's the next source, same source from the Victoria British Museum. Also, this artifact here, Chedorlaomer, it names them in BM 34062. It names them again, same source, 35496. These are extra biblical sources, people, right? And so again, this is also what we have here. Head of Chedorlaomer, right? Head of Chedorlaomer is an arsenal copper made from Iran, circa 2000 BCE, right? This is at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Rogers Fund, 1947. Remember, when I read off the timeline, we put Chedorlaomer at about 2300 BCE. This is from 2000 BCE, so we're only talking about a matter of dating only a 300-year difference. Here's a sculpted head of Chedorlaomer. Extra biblical sources. Why would they do this for a fictional character? These people weren't Hebrews. Why would they do it? Makes no sense to do it. This had to be someone who they understand to be a real person. We're only talking about 300 years from what we know, where we can place him in the extra biblical source timeline versus the time we see these artifacts. Here he is, bro. Get a good look at him, right? This is the head of Chedorlaomer, right? Let's go further. Now, Chris Harris made a statement in his first interview, which got me really on him to really show him that his information he was bringing out was totally bogus, because he made the claim that Chedorlaomer, if he was real, would have been mentioned in a king's list. If you haven't seen my video, or if you haven't seen his initial video against the Genesis 14 kings list, this is what he nailed his whole argument to. Chedorlaomer is not named in anyone's king's list. Why is that? We can see clearly right here. We're going to show and prove that he's incorrect. So in the king's list, WB 444, the Well-Blundell Prism, right, dated 1800 BCE, you see his name listed there in line 14. You see here we have lines 10 through 15 here, but in the line just above it, I'll show you, put my little cursor on it right here. This would be line 14 right here. You see his name, Kudu Lamar. That little 7 there is when it's eroded or the space is not there, but they see the rest of the name. Lamar, line 13, reigned 36 years. Line 14, over Akkad is king of Awan the first in Elam or Elam. He's listed in the king's list. So what are you talking about, Chris Harris? If you're basing your whole fact that these characters or these people didn't exist because their names weren't in any king's list, you're definitely wrong. This debate should really be over. Here it is right here in the cuneiform tablet, the king's list, WB Well-Blundell Prism, dated circa 1800 BCE. The king's list WBCE here is also can be found in the Asmolean Museum in Oxford. These are primary sources, people. People are going to want to argue with you guys and tell you that no, artifacts ain't really artifacts because you can't go and touch them. But they argue Kemet all day and they never step foot on the sands of Egypt. But they'll argue up and down that Kemet is what it is. Why? Because they've seen video, they can touch it. This is what it is. Study what primary sources are. And stop letting these people tell you what ain't good information. This is a fact. He's on the king's list, right? So let's deal with that. Let's go a little further. Let's see what we have. Here is the actual king's list right here. From the well-blunted prism, right there. And he's listed right here. This is where it would be. Lines 13, 14, and 15, right here. It gives the name. Kudar, La Glamar in lines 13. Over reigned 36 years. In line 14, it says, over Akkad is king of Ewan the first in Elam. It's there, people, in their own language. Why would they list him in their king's list if he did not exist to them? Their king's list was not made of fiction. This is not a man-made king's list. This is the artifact here. The well-blunted prism is what they call it, and they date it to 1800 BCE. Chris Harris brought out this whole thing about the king's list, the king's list. If he's not in the king's list, he's not real. If he's not in their king, he's not, why is he not mentioned in that king's list? And I told this brother, you're not understanding that his name wouldn't be Chedorlaomer. That's the angelicized version. So we understand who he is. This is not even this shouldn't even be an argument. I even asked the brother, man, let's just have a discussion. Because you can't get around these artifacts, brother. You're going to tell us the Hebrews made this up? Some Jews in 600 AD made this up?
All right, shout out to, go ahead and mute your mic, Elder YARAH. Shout out to YARAH Ben Nazareth for dropping that science. We're going to now hand this thing over to Chris Harris. Chris Harris. Mute your mic, YARAH.
Yeah, let me get it real quick. Hold on. There it is.
Stop sharing. All right. Chris Harris, is on you, brother. Whenever you're ready.
All right, man, and he's quite predictable what he likes to do. He actually used the Weld Blundell translation. That's what he used there, and he did not cite a primary source at all. He used a Weld Blundell translation. That's what you cited. But we're going to go to the actual artifact. And shout out to Garfield Reed for giving me this website that cited the actual artifact and has the list of the kings, because he would in fact be during the Awan period. First of all, you destroy your own argument again, because Abraham, according to extra biblical sources, lived during the 19th century BCE, 19th or 18th century BCE. He did not live during the 24th century BCE. So you fell on your own sword right there. Okay, let's continue on. Secondly, here it is, the Awan Kings list written on a cuneiform tablet.
Because we can't see.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me get that again. Let me hit the share screen up. Let me get that share screen up real quick. All right. Here it is right here on livius.org. This is the actual artifact in which the kings were found on it. And it said the Awan Kings list, which was an Elamite chronographic document mentioning several kings who ruled in the last third of the third millennium. Okay, now he cited Chedorlaomer being in the 24th century, 24 BCE, 2400 BCE. That's a little bit towards the end of the 3rd century. Let's see something here. It said the kings are Piel, Tari, Ukates, Hasur, Susatrana, Naphilis. I can't pronounce these names, but as you can see, his name is not mentioned anywhere. And this was as early, this page was created in 2009. You're using the Weld Blundell translation. You're not citing the actual artifact. And that's what I asked you for. And you didn't cite the actual artifact. But I want to go back. I want to go back here to the Jewish Encyclopedia and let's hear what they said. And this is what it says. Apart from these certain facts, all else is a matter of controversy. Shiel believed that he had found the name on a tablet of Hammurabi in the form of Chedorlaomer. They thought they found it, but the name is now proved to be Inu Shamar. T.G. Pinches, or Theodophilus Pinches, has found the name Kadur Kamal in a tablet dating probably from the period of the Arsacadae. In spite of the difficulty of reading and the late date of the text, it is possible that the person intended is really the same as Chedorlaomer of Genesis, though most scholars are opposed to this view. The tablet in present records gives only rather a negative result from the Babylonian and documents. Nothing. That's what it says. There's no material of historical value can be gleaned from those tablets. And I'm going to show y'all why. That's a cute presentation and all, but we're going to continue the translation of these tablets. Now, as you can see, the British artifact SP32 contains near the beginning the word Hamu. Now, when you read all of these texts, because I don't have time to go through all of them, these texts are written in a poetical form. Texts are written to teach kings. This is why it was found in the late 4th century BCE. It's not a primary source. It was not written during the time of the event. It was written after the time of the event. So as you can see, you guys can go here yourself, type up Chedorlaomer on BibleHub.com. You can't use a translation. Those are translation from Christian authors. Let's continue on. That is not an artifact that you showed us. Let's continue on. And we're going to go right here because this is going to destroy the entire Genesis 14 account. And these are off those British Museum artifacts. It says, but an untoward fate overtook this ruler. For Chedorlaomer, his son, pierced his heart with the steel sword of his girdle. All these references to violent deaths are apparently cited to show how dreadful the end of kings, lords of sin, whom Marduk, the king of gods, was angry. The third text is of poetical nature and refers several times to the enemy Elamite, apparently Chedorlaomer, in this noteworthy inscription, which is even in its present imperfect state. It contains 78 lines of wedge-written text. The destruction wrought by him is related in detail. He cast down the door of the temple of Ishtar, entered Dumah, the place where the fates were declared, and told his warriors to take the spoil. Let's just continue on. We're going to read this. He was afraid, however, to proceed, as the god of the place flashed like lightning, shook the holy places. The last two paragraphs state that his face go down to Tiamattu. Now, here's the thing. None of these texts that were found in these cuneiform tablets, which I'll cite right here again, that cite this is where he went originally. These artifacts are right here. This story on these artifacts does not cite what's happening in Genesis 14. This is what the scholars are saying. But you'll have Christian scholars who see the name Chedorlaomer, and they're trying to say that is Chedorlaomer, and they're saying that's not him. I read it for you. You're going to get a translation, and I'm showing you all the actual artifact that has been translated. And it's in a poetical text. And at that, YARAH, why wouldn't you just find something that can prove Abraham and make all of us shut the hell up? Why are you trying to find Chedorlaomer? You're supposed to be trying to find Abraham. How'd you put Abraham in the 24th century now? That's crazy to me. Now you just hung everybody that believe in the Bible on this show tonight. That don't make no sense. Let's continue. Let's continue on, man. Let's continue on. So as we can see, I've given you guys the artifacts. The period dates late Babylonian. He's sitting back. He's telling you to go look at Victoria, British museums, and all this other nonsense. And then he's showing you statues of somebody that you ain't even certain who that is. This is what a Bible believer does. Instead of just reading it, citing the artifact, researching the artifact, and moving forward from there. You jumped out the window on this one, dog. The scholars are saying this is not him. I just read it to you. And you're presenting all this information, all this nonsense for no reason. We're debating Chedorlaomer. Is Genesis chapter 14 talking about him? Here, I got something else I want to show. Let's see something here. Let me go to my documents right quick. I hope I got some time here. Let's go to my documents right quick. I want to show what an anachronism is, because that's what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with anachronisms. All right. And it says anachronisms are out of place words or phrases. For example, a story from the 18th century AD would not talk about computers, atomic power, or airplanes because they were not invented yet. In Genesis, there is the repeated use of camels. Camels were not widely used until 1000 BC. In the Joseph story, there's a camel caravan carrying gum, balm, and myrrh, which best fits the Arabian trade of the 8th and 7th centuries. I just wrote that down to give y'all an example of an anachronism. But I want to get down here to Genesis 14. And this is the war which so-called Abraham took place in. And the war in Genesis 14 seems only to fit the geography of the 7th century BC in En Mishpat or Kadesh, most likely refers to Kadesh Barnea, a great oasis which was mainly occupied in the 7th and 6th century. So there would be no war in the 24th century because the land was not occupied yet. And that's just based on a geographical study. You got anachronisms all through here. That's why you guys, there is no original text citing Abraham. There is no original text that cites Chedorlaomer as a king that Abraham defeated. It tells you in those documents that Chedorlaomer was defeated by his own son, not Abraham. So you should know right there that's not the same person. And that's why I read that. With that being said, Solar, I'm done. I'm done right there. There's nothing else that needs to be said. Those texts read, I'll go right back to it. And it says right in these texts, excuse me, it says his brothers, his son killed him. That's what it says. Here it is right here. But an untoward fate overtook the likewise ruler for Chedorlaomer. His son pierced his heart with the steel sword of his girdle. All these references to violent deaths are apparently cited to show the dreadful end of certain kings, lords of sin, who Marduk, the king of the gods, was angry. This is what got it.
All right. So, with that being said, if y'all would like to, we'll just go to the rapid fire round, or do y'all want to do a rebuttal? It's up to you.
You said do a rebuttal?
I mean, I said we could go straight to the rapid fire round, or we could do a rebuttal round. Which do you prefer?
I'll do a rebuttal. It depends on what YARAH want to do. Because I thought I just rebutted everything.
YARAH.
I'm trying to unmute my mic. Hold on.
Okay, so you want to do rapid fire, or you want to do a rebuttal?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. Chris just put out he just spewed a whole lot of stuff out. But we can go into some rebuttal rounds, because I do have a few questions for him, because he says I fell on my sword, but I want to teach him a lesson really quickly.
All right, so I set the timer for 10 minutes, and go ahead, brother, whenever you're ready.
Okay. So, Brother Chris, my question is this. I'm going to follow up with, I'm going to present a statement, then I'm going to follow up with a question.
How about you just give me the question? That's what it's about.
I can give you the question, no problem.
Thank you.
When did the Canaanites occupy the land of parts of the land what we call Mesopotamia, or the Elamites?
The Elamites, they were already there. The Elamites had started coming into the land around the 26th century.
And the
Elamites were nothing but Cushitic people. That's all they were.
Okay, were the Elamites considered a Canaanite tribe?
No, they were not.
They were not.
Canaan, a man named Canaan never existed.
Okay. So according to your narrative, you said no one occupied that land 2300, 2350 BCE.
No, what I meant to say, what I'm meaning by that, it was not heavily occupied.
So you're correct in your statement that it was not heavily occupied instead of no one occupied the land.
Well, that war and those names, all those names are actually Iron Age, first century Iron Age names, which date 1200 to 1000 BCE at the beginning of the Iron Age. Those names were not used before then. And a lot of the artifacts that were also found also date around the Iron Age, which was 1200 to 1000 BCE.
Okay. So again, so when you say a lot of those names weren't used, so when we look at the city of right? What date would you date that the city of
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, so you wouldn't date it at least 2600 BCE?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, so I dated 2500 BCE.
Okay, what does that prove about Chedorlaomer?
Okay. Well, we know that the kings, right, as I read before, that they named themselves after that city, the kings of as well as you mentioned on that list. Now, when we look in the Sumerian list, as well as the Elamite kings list that you looked upon, we see those names are prevalent. We see we see those names are clearly mentioned. That name is clearly mentioned in those names. So when you make the claim that no one existed in that land, or there was no kingship in that land during that particular time, was just sporadic people here and there, how can you make that claim?
Well, what I would like to know is, what does all that have to do with?
Answer my question with the question.
Answer the question, please.
But not with the question, no.
I think you're forgetting the name of this debate. You were supposed to be proving Chedorlaomer to be a real person. You haven't proven that all night. And
no, actually I have not.
Can I answer the question? It's my turn, right?
Yeah, but you should be answering my question. Not making a statement.
Well, during that time period of the Elamite dynasty, which was during the Awan period, in that king's list, because he would be considered a king of that dynasty if he existed, it would be all those kings had the name Ker in their name. They were from the Keridite kings.
Now, now the kings list that you read from, was that an Elamite kings list, or was the Elamite kings list that you let me rephrase that, the Elamite kings list that you mentioned, right? Was the city of located, or was it a city of Sumer?
I couldn't tell you. I don't get what your question is going. I don't get where your question's going. Can you be more concrete?
Have you looked into the Sumerians kings list?
Yes, but he was not a Sumerian.
I said, have you looked into the Sumerians kings list for the city of as them being rulers of the city of
Well, no, I haven't, because this debate is not about the Sumerian kings list. And at that, the Sumerian kings list starts at what date?
It starts at a very early period. I think it actually starts around about maybe 6 to 5500 BCE.
6 to 5500 BCE?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me 6000 BCE?
Yeah, Sumerian.
A Sumerian kings list that
not the Sumerian kings list, but Sumer itself.
Oh, Sumer itself.
Yeah, Sumer itself.
Okay, but we're talking about a kings list, right?
Yeah, we're talking about a kings list.
Okay, so when did Sumer first have a kings list?
I think that first kings list was mentioned, I want to say indefinitely, I'm not really sure, but I think if I got my dates right, it was sort of mentioned around maybe 2600 BCE. Somewhere around
2500 BCE?
Yeah, somewhere around in there, 25 to 2600 BCE. I'm not absolutely sure about that though, but I believe that's where it started.
Okay, so if you're not sure about it, why would you ask me the question?
You're asking me the question. I'm asking you. That's why I asked you the question. Where would you date it?
Right.
I didn't ask you anything. I asked you, where would you date it?
If that was the case, I could just start to lie and say anything if you're not really sure.
I just asked you.
Okay, that's fine.
Whether or not, I mean, you've been lying all night. I mean, you can start the line wherever you want. But what I'm saying to you is this, is that when you look at these kings lists and you talk about that the timelines, what timeline are you basing the fact that the date that I gave that Chedorlaomer would have existed? How can you determine based on what timeline or what chronology are you using that you hold to be true that would not place him at this time period?
Well, the first thing is, I don't believe he existed, nor does any scholar in world history believe he existed. And the person that curated the cuneiform tablet said that that was not him on there because his fate was met totally differently from the one from the account in Genesis 14. That's what you need to be dealing with. Let me show you.
Actually, I don't need to be dealing with that because
we're going to go to the kings list. Hold on.
What the information that you read, Chris, does not say he did not exist.
Okay.
Not once have you read one definite scholar that said Chedorlaomer did not exist. Not one time have you read that tonight.
No.
And so how do you
I said, listen to what I'm telling you. I said he doesn't exist.
Right, you say that.
But the scholar said that translation of the name Chedorlaomer is not the person in Genesis 14, the actual person that translated the tablets.
Well, the actual person that translated the tablets did not say that that was not his name. Doesn't say that.
Okay, I'm gonna read it for you again. I'm gonna read it for you again.
I'm gonna show you exactly what it says.
Because you're lying right there.
No, I'm not lying right there. I'm gonna show you exactly what it says.
I'm gonna read what it says. It says right here, Theodophilus Pinchas has found the name Kadur-ku-Kama in a tablet dating probably from the period of the Kuradite Empire. In spite of the difficulty in reading let me finish reading. And the difficulty of the reading and the date of the text, it is possible that the person questioned was Chedorlaomer of Genesis. Though most scholars are opposed to this view, the question is couched in a florid poetical style, and little material of historical value can be gleaned from it. This is the person who translated the tablet.
Does he say he does not exist?
I just told you I'm the one that said he does not exist.
So you have no definite scholar that you read from tonight. Right, but I just showed you that the name given for Chedorlaomer is located on the WB's prison.
The same name that Theodophilus Pinchas just said right here is not.
It does not say. Read it again. It does not say it is not.
I'm gonna read it from the beginning. Apart from these certain facts, all else is a matter of controversy. Patrick Shael believed that he had found a name on the tablet in the form of Chedorlaomer. In Biblical Review, 1896, page 600. There's your source. You can go read it. But the name is now proved to be Inu Shamar. It was not Chedorlaomer's name. They just cited what name that was.
You just said that. That's not in the text you just read.
Okay.
It does not say that it's not him.
Let me read it for you again.
Read it again.
The name Kudu.
Why don't you put it up on the screen so we can read it?
Which is you translate that you believe is Chedorlaomer. It says the name is proved to be Anu Shamar. What don't you understand about that?
Anu Shamar. We know Anu Shamar that's Akkadian. So what you're saying here is this: we understand these things, but we know just like the Egyptians, they had several different names.
Okay,
they had many different names. But that's beside the point.
Shamar is in fact Chedorlaomer, because now you're doing what
this is beside the point. Don't get stuck on it. What I'm saying to you, Chris, you have not shown tonight one scholar who has said to you definitely that you have read from. No, you have not.
My claim.
Okay, so you have no evidence.
The name of this is Chedorlaomer.
Wait a minute. So you have no. Okay, so you have no evidence tonight that you can prove from any scholar that says Chedorlaomer is not a real person.
One more time. The name of this debate is Chedorlaomer in the King's list? That's the name.
And he is listed in the WB King's list. Now, if you want Prism list, now if you want to pick another King's list,
originals, can you cite?
If you want to pick another King's list, you can do that. And this is the debate you tried to lock down to, because at the end of the day, Chris, you have no evidence from any scholar that
I
says
just read the scholar.
He did not say Chedorlaomer is not a real person,
Okay,
or he did not exist.
We're gonna pull Wendell.
And that is the fact. And that is the fact of this argument.
We're gonna pull Wendell and
or did he not exist?
Wendell's King's List and translation for you. I'm gonna pull it now for you because I just got it. Shout out to the team.
All translations that you read.
You just read a translation.
What I'm asking you, this is what I'm saying. You're arguing about a translation that I'm reading versus a translation that you're reading.
No, because
neither one of these people.
Here it is right here.
Listen, neither one of these scholars have yet to say in any text that you read or can come up with or can find that Chedorlaomer was not a real person.
Hey, Solar, can you repeat to everybody what's the name of this debate? There you go.
That's the name of the debate.
Okay.
Not whether or not he's listed on anyone's king's list. You cannot
on any king's list.
You cannot prove he's not a real person. You have not cited one scholar, one source, one historical text that
the
he
whole
does not
argument
exist.
is based upon your video.
It's based upon your video that you said these guys were made up in history.
Here it is right here. The king of Elam. And then I went to the scholars and they said that Chedorlaomer is in fact a man named somebody else. So therefore, your Chedorlaomer is not Chedorlaomer.
Based on what? Who says that? Show me the scholar that says that, Chris.
The person that translated it,
bro.
Right
show
here.
Me the scholar. Show us that right now.
I'm showing it to you.
Bro, listen.
Right here.
That's not what you're showing us, Chris. It does not say that it is not him and that he does not exist. That's the name of the debate.
Chedorlaomer, you are citing Chedorlaomer as Chedorlaomer. They have already said, it says right here, apart
but they've
from
given
facts, all else is a matter of controversy. Shiel believed he had found the name on the tablet.
Controversy.
But the name is now proved to be a new Shadar. That is not Chedorlaomer's name. Therefore, he can only be cited as a fictional character. And I'm gonna ask you a question.
Based on who?
Based
on Shiel? It says Shiel believed. It says Shiel believed that he had found the name on the tablet.
It says, but the name is now proved to be.
Bro, it says Shiel believed that he had found the name on the tablet of Hammurabi.
Solomon, can you read that for me, please? Because he keeps saying inserting the word believe there. Can you read that?
It does say.
Read right here. Read right here. No, read where I'm flashing says apart.
Because apart from these certain facts, all else is a matter of controversy. With the show, believe.
Thank you. He believed.
Hold on. You got to mute out. Hold on. Keep reading.
Shall believe that he has found the name on the tablet of Hammurabi in the form of Chedorlaomer. But the name is now proved to be Enu Shamar.
So he thought he found Chedorlaomer's name on that tablet too.
Right. Now listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm telling you, Chris. I'm going to say this real clearly and once and for all. You're arguing about his name being on the tablet of Hammurabi. I never said his name was on the tablet of Hammurabi. I said his name is found in the WB's list, Crimson. His name is found in the three texts that I showed from the very beginning, the three cuneiform texts, the historical context that are found of Chedorlaomer that mentions his name 3 times. I never said his name was mentioned on the Hammurabi text. That's what you're inserting into this whole entire argument. So again, Chris Harris, you have not proven and you have not shown.
Try and throw everybody off. These are two scholars. These are
you said I'm not arguing. Who's arguing the Hammurabi text? Okay. You are.
Okay.
I never brought that up. That has never been the argument.
Your entire
that has never been Chris Harris
on the name Chedorlaomer. They're saying that name Chedorlaomer because you went to this website and it says right here.
Actually, I showed you what
right
actually
here.
I pulled information from.
Chedorlaomer's name as Chedorlaomer.
Bro, go back to your text. You're arguing the Hammurabi text, which I never argued that his name was on the Hammurabi text.
Dude, this is horrible. Okay, one more time. In that video, I could pull it up right now, and you said that this was a primary text at the 11-minute and 26-second mark.
I said that the tablet of Hammurabi was a primary text. Go show us that right now.
Listen, okay, you're playing. Now you're playing.
No, bro. What you're reading.
Okay, I want to pay attention to this, what you're doing.
Okay, go ahead, bro. I want you to get it out so I can come back and rebut what you're saying.
All right, time. So what y'all want to do? Y'all want to rebut or y'all want to close it out?
I'm done. He's done.
All right,
okay, he's done. And let me say this. What he's arguing right now, people, he's saying that the name Chedorlaomer or Chedorlaomer is not mentioned on the Hammurabi text.
We're going to set the timer for 5 minutes and allow YARAH ben Nazareth to close this thing out, family. So YARAH, it's on you whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. What this brother is showing again, and it's clear, right? For anyone out here who can understand what he's doing. This is called 3-card Monty, smoke and mirrors. I'm not arguing whether or not Chedorlaomer's name or Kunga-Gamar's name was ever mentioned in the Hammurabi text. That's what the information Chris Harris brought out. And I never argued that. I'm arguing from my very beginning in my very first presentation early on that the 3 texts that I showed that name Chedorlaomer and the 3 kings listed in Genesis chapter 14 has not been debunked. It is his name. It is shown on those tablets, and he's trying to argue that as if those 3 tablets were the Hammurabi text, and they're clearly not the same text. So he has failed in his argument tonight. Nice try, Chris Harris, but it's not going to fly tonight, brother. I've never argued was his name on the Hammurabi text. That's the information you brought out. And when you say Shiel believed that his name was mentioned on the Hammurabi text, and that was the bump, absolutely, I can agree with you because that's never been the argument. The argument has been the 3 texts that I showed in the British Museum that was translated by the Victorian Philosophical Society clearly shows Chedorlaomer, Kunga-Gamar's name in those texts as they are in Genesis chapter 14. You have not shown any historical text, any data. You have not shown any scholars, any consensus of scholars that says that those names and those 3 texts that we showed you from the British Museum that you tried to debunk from the beginning does not mention Chedorlaomer's name. That's game, brother. That's game. I'm done.
All right. Shout out to YARAH ben Nazareth. We're going to now hand this thing over to Chris Harris. Chris Harris, you got 5 minutes to close, brother, whenever you're ready.
All right. Now, y'all all saw his video. We heard that long old man spew. He got busted because he did not cite his sources. And right here in this BibleHistory.net, he went and it said the first artifact known is British Museum 3504, and it says the following: the property and the possessions of Babylon, small and great, and their faithful counsel to Chedorlaomer. Now, it says they are making Chedorlaomer seem like Chedorlaomer. They are saying that that was Chedorlaomer. But when you go to the British Museum, because BibleHistory.net ain't citing the person that curated and translated the text, these are the people, Theodore Pinches, here he is right here. He translated the text. He translated it. And here it is what he had to say right here. Apart from these certain facts, Shiel believed. You gotta mute out, YARAH. It says Shiel believed that he had found the name on a tablet. Now, what name did he believe he had found? Chedorlaomer's name on a tablet of Hammurabi in the form of Chedorlaomer. That's the same name translated off BibleNet.com. But the name that Chedorlaomer is now proved to be a new shamar. Now, y'all heard him try to play the linguistic acrobat when he tried to say, oh, the Egyptians had many different names and they were called many different things too. And not gonna work here. These are two scholars citing that name Chedorlaomer is not him. That's it. So therefore, based on that, Chedorlaomer is a fictional story told during a Babylonian period, because all these texts are set in a poetical form. Bottom line. And when we go to the Sumerian kings list, this is the one he was quoting. This is the Awan kings list. You don't find his name on here. It's nowhere. This is from Wendell and Blundell. You can go to, I pulled this right off of Wikipedia, the Wendell and Blundell list. And his name is not on there. Now that translation he used, it says Kadur. And in parentheses, it put Lagar Gamul on there, trying to cite him as Chedorlaomer. So that's their translation of the text. Now here it is right here. You don't see his name nowhere on here. You don't see it. It's nowhere on here. You talking about Mesopotamia, all that other nonsense. All you got to do is cite Chedorlaomer. You went here. Bible.net told us that this was him, but this person, Chedorlaomer, his son killed him. His son killed him. But your Bible say that, guess what? Abraham beat him. So who is this really? With that being said, you got caught. You tried to switch your argument 3 times in this debate.
Where did I switch my argument at 3 times?
You never cited.
Go back. Let me show you something, Chris Harris, where you lost.
Don't cut me off. I'm on my time, bro.
Actually, your time been up.
No, don't cut me off. I'm done.
Bro, your time been up. You've been talking for 6 minutes already.
Dog, do not cut me off.
You've been over a minute over already.
Don't cut me off, dude.
I cut you off after 5 minutes.
Solar will stop me when he says it's time for me to stop.
Bro, you've been talking for over 5 minutes.
When Solar says I'm done,
are you serious, bro? Again, in your own information you brought out, bro, you still trying to make those 3 tablets. You still trying.
All right. So we're gonna have to close it out. For now, we're gonna have to close this thing out. YARAH, you know, he wants to break the rules. So with that being said, shout out to both debaters. Tomorrow we're gonna have Yahukanan is gonna be in the building, family. He's gonna be going up against Asar M. Ka. The topic of that debate is which is better for the black family, the Bible or Kemetic science. That will be 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you be in the building for that, family. So, with that being said, this is your boy Soul Mind telling you, get your study on. And this is the Solar Vision Debate League, man. Peace.
Welcome to the sun.